Hello viewers, welcome to Food Braggers Network. Today I'm going to make for us bouillon cubes. I'm going to use herbs to make bouillon cubes. We'll use thyme leaves, sage, I will also use tarragon leaves, Thai basil, and rosemary leaves. These 5 herbs blend very nicely together. Before you make your bouillon cubes, try out your herbs and make sure that they blend nicely together, and when you use them in your recipe that you will like them before you make a combination of them or before you put them together to make your bouillon cubes. I have tried these 5 herbs and they come out so nicely when combined together and make very delicious recipes. At the end of this video, you're going to see how each of these herbs were processed prior to using them to make these bouillon cubes. Each of my spices have been nicely washed, so now I'm going to use my food processor to blend every one of them. My food processor will not blend it unless I add a little bit of water to it, so that's what I'm going to do. I have here 1/4 cup of water that I'm adding. I'll start with my thyme. Throw them in there. Tarragon, you don't have to follow the process. You could put everything in any order you like. I'm just going to throw in everything into the food processor. Don't overload the processor so that way you could add them bit by bit. So that. And I'm going to set it up to blend. Okay, so my veggies are nicely processed. They've all been blended together. This is not so smoothly blended. If I want to have it really smoothly blended, then I turn it from a food processor into a blender and then blend it again. But I'm okay with it not being super smooth because we're going to use it to cook. So I empty this into a bowl. Okay viewers, so my spices are nicely blended and I've emptied into a bowl. Now I'm going to make hydrated bouillon cubes. If this was to be dehydrated bouillon cubes, I will pour this onto a cheesecloth and squeeze out all the water from it. And of course I will not throw away that water. I'll keep it and use it to cook, but otherwise this is not that. I'm making hydrated bouillon cubes. So I have here 1 tablespoon of salt. So I'm going to empty that into that. That helps for preservation. And I do have 1/2 cup of oil. So I'm also going to pour that into this. So oil and salt help to preserve this and make it last longer. You do not have to add if you don't want to. You could make the cubes without having to add any of those. But I'm going to add those together and I'm going to nicely mix them. Okay, after mixing up all my ingredients, what I do here, I'm going to take an ice cube tray. You could use anything that will allow you to measure out your cubes nicely, but I always use ice cube tray, and sometimes I use very small plastic containers, and I do that. So now I'm going to use here, I have a seal wrap. I'm going to tear reasonable size. So here is a press and seal wrap. I am going to use that to make sure that I protect my tray from staining. It stays white because I can always use it again and again. I'm going to nicely dip it down into the holes. That also makes it easy when I'm ready to pop out some and use. Then I'll be able to makes it easy. So when I'm ready to use, I'll let us see what I mean. So I have nicely, and I make sure that I don't put holes in it. Push it just nicely in, and then I'm going to fill that, or I'm going to scoop a spoon each and put into these holes. So here I have my herbs that I had blended and mixed nicely. Scoop a spoon each into the holes. So I have scooped it into each of those holes and put it together. Now I'm going to cover it up with seal wrap as well. And I'm going to label it with the different spices that I have in here. Once I label those, then I'm going to put it into the freezer and allow it to freeze. And once it freezes, I'm going to show us what it looks like. The bouillon cubes have been in the freezer for approximately 8 hours overnight. So here I am going to just open it up. I had labeled it so that I know what spices I had. You could put proper labeling. However, this is it. So I open it up. What you see, the whitish part of it there is just ice on it that's settled. So for me to use it, I'm just simply going to pull this plastic that I had it in, pop out as many cubes as I want. As you can see, it's very easy to pop that out and then be able to use it. So because you know the quantity that we had and we use approximately equal amounts into each hole, you could basically calculate how much ingredient you have in each of it and use it whenever you want to, if you're interested in the mathematical part of it, of knowing the quantity that you had in each of those cubes. So this is how I make my frozen bouillon cubes. These bouillon cubes were made with one of my viewers in mind, Mark K. This was your request and this is for you. So please let me know what you think about this recipe. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel at Food Braggers Network. Be one of the first to be notified once I have uploaded new videos. Now take a look at how each of those ingredients were being processed prior to making my bouillon cubes. Thank you. So first I'm going to nicely rinse out all my herbs that I'm going to use. I always rinse my herbs when I buy them from the store before I use them, even if they had been rinsed or washed before and packaged before selling. I always like to do that. I ensure that I do not have sun. So nicely rinse that. And this is my fresh rosemary leaf. I'm going to take out the leaves from the stem. The stem cannot be used because it is very hard, so I'm going to take out all the leaves from the stem. So I'll do the same thing for my thyme leaves. I'm just going to rinse it out nicely. Thyme leaves are a little bit very smaller compared to all the other ones, so a little bit more difficult to remove them from the stem, but I'll still do that. What I will do is just remove the hard part of the stem and leave the other ones there. So I'm simply going to cut it that way. This is my Tarragon, so I'm doing the same thing. Rinsing it all out. I'm also going to take out each of the leaves from the stem of the Tarragon. And I'll keep the soft part of the tip part that is soft. That will be nicely blended, unlike the other parts. So for the basil, I include the soft part of the stem. The tip of the stem is soft, so I do not toss that. I include that in there, and so you could see, so long as you can cut it, it means it can be a part of it. This is my search, and also for my search I'm also going to do the same thing. Take out the leaves and use the soft part of the stem. Only the soft part can be included because it's easy to blend and it will mix properly. So once they are nicely prepped, then you can begin the process of preparing the bouillon cubes.